are to stay up. I still think that they will stay up because it's still only January, as I've said. They still have chances to make some appointments in the upcoming days. Right? We know deadline days is about 3 days from now, right?
Yeah, it's what day is it? 28th. It shuts on I think Monday evening.
Yeah, exactly. So there is still time for them to get that number 9. There is still time for them to claw themselves out of this situation. They don't deserve to stay up, but I think they will.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't want Southampton to go down. I mean, I had them finishing, I think it was either 13th or 14th, and seeing as there's about 3 or 5 points separating 14th from rock bottom, I could see them making that move and finishing there. But for what I know, I think Southampton, their owners are jokes. I know they're new owners. They sacked Ralph Hasenhüttl. But I mean, look at Bournemouth's new owners. They come in, they're trying to buy Zaniolo, for God's sakes. They've blown AC Milan out of the water. I think Southampton owners are a joke with this appointment of manager, and they don't seem like they're backing the team enough.
Yeah, that's a huge issue there that I pointed out. I think the only owners that are worse than Southampton's in the Premier League at this point in time is Everton's. But, we're focusing on Southampton. They don't seem like they back the manager. They seem like they are highly unsure as to who he wants to bring in, as to who he wants to use in the starting 11. Right? They've been doing no sort of transfer after. Like I haven't seen them linked with anyone, to be honest with you, in the transfer market. Not what John was saying, not what Nick was saying, not what anyone is saying. I don't see them linked with anyone. And that's not a good sign when you're 20th in the Premier League. Of course, you're 20th in the Premier League. No person wants to join a club that's going to be in a relegation battle. Right? No sensible person going to do it. You don't think? So, honestly, I expect them to maybe get a signing from maybe League One or the Championship, or maybe one of those teams from like it's Italy, maybe Caputo from Sampdoria. I'd see him in a signing for them because that's the level of player that they can pull. They're not a Chelsea that's 10th that can still pull world-class players. They're Southampton.
Yeah, I mean, and they're not in that good position that they were 4 or 5 seasons ago. I mean, maybe they can go out and get Gyökeres from Coventry City. He's a very good Swedish forward. But moving on from a relegation scrap to a team that might as well be in a relegation scrap. We can speak about your Forest for a little bit. Dean Henderson out for, I think it was about 4 to 5 weeks, could be longer. And now they're linked with bringing in Keylor Navas as backup, because I mean, Wayne Hennessy ain't it. I mean, you have to believe it. He's drunk every day, no pun intended. But Navas to be the goalkeeper, I mean, he didn't have a good World Cup. He's kind of at the decline, but he's still a world-class goalkeeper. With this acquisition, you guys have been finding goals. Apart from that, do you see more and more clean sheets being done now with Navas in charge, or Navas between the sticks? Because I think with this, he's a very good goalkeeper. I mean, as I said, he's on the decline. He didn't have a really good World Cup, but he's still Keylor freaking Navas. He's one of the world's best.
Well, to be completely honest with you, Navas didn't have a defense at the World Cup, right? This isn't League One or Real Madrid when he had world-class defenders in front of him. He had a virtual football. I'm not disrespecting them now, but virtual nobodies in front of him, right? They were playing against everybody's in their group. They were playing against the mighty Spain. They were playing against the likes of Germany. They were playing against the team that I was calling dark horses long before the tournament, Japan, right? They were in necessarily the group of death, in my opinion. I know a lot of people say the Argentina group was that, but no, this was the group of death, in my opinion. right?
It was.
2 former world champions, a former Asian game champions, and then there's Costa Rica.
They were once Caribbean champions.
Once. Come on. It should have been the US. It should have been the USA. I'm pretty sure they'd have made it out of that group. But out of the side though. Out of the side, I think he can do really well at Forest. As you said, Dean Henderson's out injured. They don't really have any other options. Yes, he's getting up in age, but he is still a quality goalkeeper. He's a multiple-time Champions League winner. I believe a 4-time Champions League winner, and he has done so much for Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain in the last couple of seasons. I think this is a good move, not necessarily for him, but for City. Not City, Forest, I should say. Because you're getting yourselves a proven world-class goalkeeper. You're not going to have to say, oh, can he do this? You know he can do this, right? It's just whether or not the player wants to go from being back up to Donnarumma, or possibly starting to see that Donnarumma may be injured with his record, but you know, to battling it out in mid-table in the Premier League. That's what I'm worried about. Will he accept it? I'd be tough to see him in the Premier, especially for Forest. You know me already. It'll be absolutely insane. It'll be signing of the season for me. Messi could go to City and this would still be signing of the season for me. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think he'll still stay in Paris. I think we'll have to go and experience other options. Maybe a Jack Darlow or somebody like that will end up joining us at the end of the day.
Hey, I mean, you guys do need a goalkeeper. I mean, hey, United cut the loan short of Martin Dubravka. Maybe you can look at him over Wayne Hennessy. I mean, right now anybody's better than Hennessy, but you know, you got your show to do. So, bro, just a quick question before we head into a break. It's the summer window, and you have a choice between, let's say Jude's already gone, you got Frankie de Jong or Enzo Fernandez, and you already have a holding midfielder. Who you gonna go for?
You're saying Jude Bellingham. For which team is this?
Let's say you're Man United. Let's say you're Arsenal. You've got Partey, but you know Declan Rice is available. Frankie de Jong is available, and Enzo Fernandez is available. You just won the league. Who would you go for?
Well, seeing that we already have Thomas Partey, and there's just a host of other players, I personally would go for, in my opinion, the most all-round of the options, which would be Frankie de Jong. I know Enzo Fernandez is up there on one of the players that they want to sign, but I still think he's young and he has a lot to learn. Frankie de Jong now, he's a certified, guaranteed starter in midfield, you know. Enzo Fernandez might not, and that's what I'm going on the basis. I don't really rate Declan Rice that highly. I don't think he's worth that much money. And I think I could actually get De Jong for half of his money actually. And De Jong is 2 times the player, so you get me. De Jong is the cheapest option of the 3. He's the most experienced option of the 3. And he's the most certified option of the 3. He may not be the youngest option of the 3, but his experience and the fact that he's still not even old makes me choose him over anybody else.
That's a good analysis. We'll be right back after this.
Savages to the Savage Slaughterhouse. Of course, with me, your host, Randy Savage, accompanied by the co-host today, Jackson Bryan, as usual. This is the GZ Sports Transfer Roundups for you new viewers. And for those tuning in for the first time, this is essentially where I talk about the latest transfer rumors or just the latest sort of rumors going around in football's biggest teams. Now, to start off, we're going to a topic that has been bounced around for the past couple of weeks. You know, Brighton and Hove Albion, and in particular, Moises Caicedo? Moises? I have no idea.
It is Moises, but no one says it.
Moises Caicedo from Brighton and Hove Albion. Apparently, Brighton won 90 million for him. He wants a move. He's missed training for the last couple of days at the club. He recently put out something on Twitter saying that he's thanking them for his time, but he thinks this is good for his career. Jackson, I want your opinion on this. Bear in mind, right? He's saying that he has siblings to feed. This guy, this world-class player, is only getting 3.5K at Brighton and Hove Albion. Do you think he should stay and wait till the summer before getting a transfer? Of course, we can argue that the transfer window is almost over. Brighton is going to have to scramble to try to find a new player. But then his form could dip, and then he might not be even worth half that in the summer. For the player and for the club, do you think that it is in his best interest to accept the the new and upgraded $68 million bid put on his head from Arsenal? Yes or no?
Well, all I think is Caicedo made a good point in his I don't even know where it came out first. I think it was on Instagram first. On that post, he's the youngest of 10 siblings. You know, he has to feed them. So I was wondering what was his wage, and I saw it, and I was like, bloody hell! You can't live on that. That's League One wage, basically. That's League One wage. And I know they're the ones who gave him the exposure when he was much younger. But yeah, I think the move now, Brighton just don't want to sell. Brighton is a club that will sell when you meet valuation. They don't necessarily have to sell, because I mean, people want to compare it to Trossard, but they've got Mitoma. They could afford to sell Trossard. They had Dennis Undav and Evan Ferguson was coming through. They could afford to sell him, but apart from Alexis McAllister, there's not really much in the midfield. You're going to trust Lallana? I don't think so. So I do think he should wait until the summer, because Chelsea, Arsenal, as we know, Brighton don't ever budge from their valuations. It's either you pay it or you go to Dortmund. You will never get anything less from Brighton. You can never restructure a deal. I do understand he wants the pay raise. I mean, maybe Brighton can structure something where they give him a pay raise until the summer, then they sell him. I don't know. But yeah, I think you should wait until the summer, because you don't know what can happen between now and the summer. As you said, his form could dip, but some key players could be injured for the start of next season, and other clubs could come in for him. I mean, we already know that the three names: Jude Bellingham, Enzo Fernandez, possibly Frankie de Jong, Declan Rice as well. If those guys are off the board, and there are clubs still needing midfielders, and they need a top class one, he's right there. So he's never out.
That is true. That is very true in that regard. It's 50-50 for me. If you meet the valuation, he goes. If you don't, he stays, and in the summer he can always go. But I believe he has handed in a formal transfer request. I don't think it's been approved by the board. Yes, but moving on from him, and to quite possibly one that I didn't want, a signing that I did not see happening anytime in the. If you'd asked me this 2 seasons ago, I'd say no. You're on crack. You're on cocaine. And of course, I am talking about the USMT's national star, Weston McKennie, the Juventus man, has actually signed for Leeds United on a 1-year deal valued at £1.2 million. He loan to buy option, of course, with £33 million. This is a huge win for Leeds. They've gotten a world-class centre mid in their books, one that is very young, very versatile, and could use the experience in the Premier League. And if he doesn't work out, then you've only paid £1.2 million for him. If he does, and he stars the Premier League, you only pay $33 million for him. This, of course, is signaling